What's up everyone, it is Rob here from Warfighter Made, and I'm excited to show you Warfighter Made's new vintage military vehicle, which we lovingly refer to as Beefy. Beefy is a M998 Humvee, also known as a high mobility multi-wheeled vehicle. It's an early 90s model. This is basically the vehicle that replaced that tried and true military Jeep. This vehicle really got a lot of exposure during Desert Storm. Let's go ahead and see what powers this beast here. Originally, these Humvees came with a 6.2 Detroit diesel. Upgraded models had the 6.2 replaced with the 6.5 GEP, which our Humvee has. There is 180 pissed off horses in this 6,500 pound 0 to 60 in 29.6 seconds, quarter mile, a full day. They also come with 3-speed turbo 400 transmissions with no park. We actually won our Humvee on a GovPlanet auction. For everyone who thinks that you can just go to GovPlanet and buy one of these for the $5,000 asking price, good luck, it's never gonna happen. Now let's take a look at the inside. First thing that you'll probably notice is Beefy has a complete cage, all done in 2-inch 188 wall steel with the runners and tying everything together with 1 3/4. We have a Speed Hut GPS speedometer, and we also have a Speed Hut tachometer. We have our trigger control switches here that control all of the outside lights. And then we also have our rugged variable fan pumper controller. Still using the stock switch, still using the stock rocker for the lights, and all of our fan and heater and all that stuff still works. We also have our PRP seats steering wheel. On our steering wheel, we have our rugged radio push to talk so the driver can transmit out. We also have our horn switch here on the left side, and we're pretty excited that we have a Fluid Logic hydration system in our vehicle. This entire system runs to the helmet. Attached to the microphone in the helmet is what they call the Aquacom that has a little nozzle on it, so when I push this button, water comes out of a bladder and it gets injected into my mouth. Beefy has Plan B supplies aluminum doors with PRP window nets. We're actually kind of excited about these window nets because if we ever needed to pass anything through the net, we have this little pass through, or I can come up and I can adjust my mirror. We're using assault mirrors. We really enjoy these mirrors. They're a convex mirror, so it gives a really good field of view. The doors, the accents on the mirrors, the cases on our Baja design lights were all powder coated OD green, olive drab green by Temecula Valley Powder Coat right here in Temecula, California. Now, if you know anything about Warfighter Made, you know that BF Goodrich Tires is a big supporter of Warfighter Made and veterans in general. This vehicle is no exception. We have the BF Goodrich Baja TAs, which is a military specific tire. This is the tire that comes on all Humvees today. My right-hand man, Danny Novoa, fabbed up a custom bumper. He started with the stock Humvee bush guard, cut it all apart, and then welded up this tube bumper. We have Baja Design LP6 lights in the headlights and LP9s with amber lenses in the front. All of our wiring and accessories was sponsored by WireCare. Check them out at wirecare.com. So just about every desert race vehicle has a co-pilot station. Let's climb into Beefy and check our co-pilot station out. We have our Speed Hut Humvee gauge kit, so the co-driver can watch all the engine vitals. We also have our trigger controller switch, so the co-driver can also turn outside lights on and off for the driver. The Co-Dog also has their own variable control pumper switch, and they also are basically the communicator. So they have the rugged radio on their side, and we also have an intercom system. The bread and butter of any off-road machine is its navigation system. So when we're hauling butt at 19 miles an hour in Baja, Mexico, clicking off a 0 to 60 time in 22.2 seconds, the driver doesn't really have the ability to look around because warp speed. So the Co-Dog has to spend all of their time staring right here at this beautiful Lowrance Elite TI2, notifying the driver of when a corner's coming up and making sure that we all don't die. In case you didn't know, military vehicles run off of a 24-volt system. 90% of these electronics run off of 12 volts. So we had to use a 24-volt to 12-volt converter, which we received from Eric's Military Surplus, and it gives us everything we need to be able to run our rugged radios, our intercom, and also our rugged radio blower. And then we really enjoy doing the NORRA races, and the NORRA's a rally, so they give you a rally book that you use the book in conjunction with the GPS. At night, sometimes it can be a little difficult to read that book, so we put in a little 24-volt push button map light right here so we can read. What's pretty rare for a race car is we actually have 4 seats in Beefy. So if anybody ever wants to go for a ride with us, let's show you what that space looks like. I'm 6'3", 235 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. I've got all kinds of room for activities back here. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna hang out back here more often. Required to have 5 pounds of extinguishing stuff in the extinguisher. The fluid logic system here, this is the pump and the processor. So the intake runs down here to a bladder. This is where it pulls the water from, and then it ties in to your pumper hose here, which then goes into your helmet, which attaches to their Aquacom. By the push of the button, keeps you hydrated. We also have our rugged helmet pumpers up here. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn one on for you, and it sounds like we're getting ready for takeoff. It's so much! Woo! Oh, Beefy, you so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Beefy. Hey, Beefy. Of course, we have PRP's Comp Elite front seats for the driver co-driver with a custom Marpat insert lumbar support on a pump ball with a release valve. You gotta run PRP harnesses, which we're doing at all 4 seats. Now, Beefy's an M998, but if you notice, it looks a little different, especially if you were a Marine like me. We didn't really have these helmet tops, which is what Beefy has on top of it. And these helmet tops also have these safari boxes in them. The safari boxes are where we would keep our spare parts and any tools that we need to fix anything while we're out on the race course. So military Humvees are suspended so they can carry a lot of weight, a lot of troops, a lot of cargo and whatnot, which makes for a super stiff ride when you don't have all that stuff in the vehicle. We elected to go with the Rod Hall Racing Fox shocks, and we spoke to Chad Hall, Rod Hall's son, and he recommended for our vehicle that we run the same springs in the back of our vehicle that are in the front, which makes for a far more compliant ride. Along with the Rod Hall suspension Fox shocks, they also have remote reservoirs. Here in the back, we also have a Baja Design rear light bar. So we got our 2 BF Goodrich Baja TAs on a 16.5-inch military beadlock. We also have our Pro Eagle jack. Everything is held in by a custom Danny Novoa tire carrier and jack carrier. I gotta drive this thing. What's the first thing you notice about Beefy other than the fact that it's a military Humvee? It's gotta be that wrap. That sweet, sweet wrap that was laid on by Authentic Design Group in Lake Elsinore, California, and they absolutely killed it. They included the Angus Beefy powers in a red, white, and blue, and of course, that absolute gorgeous Warfighter Made logo. Of course, like all the vehicles here in Warfighter Made, we have Odyssey batteries, and all lubrication is supported by Lucas Oil. All right, guys, I can't take it anymore. I'm out. I tell you what, baby, that's a whole lot of mass going a whole lot of nowhere.